Hello everyone, I'm Vicky StitchNButton, and I am here for the special beginning of the year WIP parade because I didn't get it done by the end of the year, which is fine. It is now the 1st, it's actually still the 1st, it's almost the 2nd of January, it's almost midnight, and you will see all the WIPs I have as of right now. I think it's 72 WIPs to show. I don't have them in any certain order. So if you don't have a drink or anything, a snack, you may want to do that, go get that, and then come back. I do have some of the charts piled here. I tried to gather everything together, and there's going to be zipping and crinkling because I could not pull them all out. I just couldn't. I don't know how people do it. Maybe I'm too lazy to do something like that. Maybe I just don't have enough room to be doing something like that. But that's the way it's going to happen. So, let's just get into it so it's not too long of a video. Hopefully, cross your fingers. I did start one for the 1st. It's in the pile over here somewhere. So it'll be shown probably close to last because I piled stuff on top. I have stuff on the table here, and then I have my 3-tier cart where the bottom 2 tiers are all project bags. And then I even got a laundry basket to throw bags into, so get out of my way. All right, so this one I know I started this year. This is Jim Shore, and it's called 12 Days. I think it's called 12 Days Santa. Just called 12 Days. I call it 12 Days Santa because I have the 12 Days freebie from Plum Street Sampler. This was a kit that was given to me from Vicky, and I will try to remember if anything's a gift or whatever the situation may be. I'll try to remember. This was a gift from Vicky, Reading and Stitching. She wasn't going to stitch it. I replaced the fabric. It was Ada. I replaced it with some stuff from Michael's or something. It's white. And, oh, what do they call it? I forget. Anyway, that's how far I got. I started in the bottom left corner, and I just did the goldish border that was going around. It was kind of fun to do. When I started things, this is one that I started for my birthday month, and all of those I put in at least 200 stitches on. What I did with this one also is I copied the key, and I took time and I cut all the little things and put them on a card so it'd be easier because they just gave you hanks. So I have one and some cards, and it's got these little beads. So that is Santa, 12 Days Santa. It was a kit. I don't know if there's another. Yeah, Design Works was the one that put that out. Because I'm sure Jim Shore is not doing it. Right? Next. This one is my Ronnie Rowe. And I do have that chart here. That I know. It's Ship Concordia. This is all done in, well, it's supposed to be in 413. I got a cone of black, and that's what I'm using. So I have this going on 18 count Ada, and I worked on this a couple of times. Not sure how many stitches I got in. I don't keep track like some people do. I wish I could. I could always try, but by the end of the year, it's gone. But I know I got a few hundred stitches in on this, maybe 500 to 700 stitches on this. And I started in the bottom left corner. So this is just the little remnants of water. And then I started on the ship. This is the bottom of the ship there. R.I.P. Betty White. So disgusted. So disgusted with last year. So disappointed that she passed. She will be missed. Alright. Next one. This one's Skazi, Goddess of the North. Every time I type the name in, it always autocorrects the stadium, so we have nicknamed her Stadium on Virtual Stitchers. This is from Charting Creations. I am stitching her on 25 count easy grid, something like that. And that's all I've gotten done. That's about what? 800 stitches, 700, 800 stitches on her. I only worked on her, I think, 2 times last year. And I forget when I started her. I don't think I started her last year. I think I started her the year before. And that's all I got done on her. I do have plans to work on some more of my full coverage, because I really didn't put a lot into my full coverage that I should have. And I have been talking to Matt, who is MBC Stitcher, and we're going to do full coverage Fridays. I also know there's another one of my groups, I don't remember which one, but they're doing a full coverage Friday also. Where do I put this? Oh my goodness. Alright, so I'm going to try to put some amount of stitches in, on at least on Friday, on a full coverage. I haven't earmarked special full coverages. I think it's just going to be whatever tickles my fancy, right? The next one I started, this was another birthday month start. This one translates to Daughter of Africa. I actually put it on the translator, and it's Daughter of Africa. This I am stitching on a piece of fabric from Fabric Flare. It was one of my monthly fabrics that I had received. This is one of the kits that I had gotten from mybobbin.com. I know I put in a little bit over 200 stitches. I think this fabric is called Scorched Rock, and it has some sparkle in it also. I wanted more of a natural color for her to be walking on, and that's how far I got. I think that's just some of the blue and some of the green sash. Yeah, that's the green sash that comes off of her hip, and some of the blue. That's it. I know it was about 200 or so, maybe a few more than 200, but that was it. It was easy. It was an easy stitch, so I can see her working up quick as long as I pull it out and work on it. All right. Next. This is another November birthday start from this year, and this one is Sagittarius from Pana, another one that I've gotten from mybobbin.com. I am stitching this with the called for fabric and threads because it's on, here you go, there's a glare, I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention, because it needs to be on black anyway, so it's not a big deal. This is how much I've gotten done, and I know this is right side up because I usually keep my needle mitre towards the top, and facing up and down sort of helps me. But that's how much I got. I just worked on the one color and filled it in, and I think that was about 200 stitches. Moving right along, guys. Moving right along. Alright. Next one is called Aries. Aries is also from Pana, and it was also another one that I'd gotten from mybobbin.com. I started this one in November for my birthday month. I am a Sagittarius. Frank is an Aries, and I thought these would be cute together. Again, I kept this on the 14 count Ada it came on, and I'm stitching it with the threads it came with. And that's how much I've gotten done. And that was about 200 stitches. Alright. Hopefully I can keep this pace and it won't be forever. Next. Aha. another panic kit. This one is Clockwork Dragonfly. Clockwork Dragonfly. I'm thinking ahead because I have the Clockwork Bird also. But I started this one for my birthday month. I'm using the called for threads and the fabric that came with it because it was actually linen. And I think that they have those back in stock on mybobbin.com. They were out of stock for a little bit, and I had gotten a notification. But that's how far I got on that, and I'm pretty sure that it's 200 stitches. And I think for every needle minder I've shown so far, I think I still have those available in my shop, in case you were wondering. Except for the one Golden Girls. Is it that one? No, I have that one. I don't have the other one. There's another one, an older one I couldn't get anymore. So I do have Golden Girls needle minders also. Alright. What's up next? Those right there were the ones that were hanging off of that hook. These ones here were hanging, the next little batch here, we're hanging on the lower hook. This next one is, this is The Baker's Wife, aka Happy Hooker. There's a bug, sorry. I have a lot of little gnats. It's warm out. I know, everybody else is getting snow, but it's warm here in Florida. Anyway, this is the Happy Hooker. I will be doing her sister, the Silly Slut, after this one. But I want to finish this one first. She was started 2 years ago. Not last year. She was 2020. And I don't think I have any more of those, by the way, those needle minders. I was just looking over there to see. That's how far I got. I know I started her in 2020. I'm not sure how many stitches I had gotten right away, but it wasn't very many, and then I stitched on her one more time. So I've only stitched on her twice, once last year, once the year before, and that's how much I've gotten of her. That is basically her chest and shoulders area, and not sure when I'll be stitching on her again. It's not that I don't want to, it's just, as you'll see, there's a ton of WIPs to be worked on. But I have plans to touch more, we'll see. And I don't have plans to start anything right now for this year, unless I finish something first. I think that's going to be the plan. Finish something first. This next one definitely needs some love. This is Wizard of Oz. It is artwork by Scott Gustafsson, and it was charted by Heaven and Earth. I started this a couple of years ago. I don't know exactly when. And I don't know that I worked on it last year. Maybe once. Maybe once last year. But that's as far as I've gotten. It's 25 count 1/1. I don't know if... Did I buy that? I think I might have bought that from Mad for Minders or something like that. Anyway, this is how far I've gotten. I am very happy with the way it's looking. I'm looking, because I haven't looked at it for a while. There's a couple ninja stitches I need to fill in there. And I think that's what I was doing when I was filling in the couple of ninja stitches and then moving on. Just to get that filled in and not have to worry about that area again. This is definitely one I want to get some more stitches in this year, for sure. And a 25 count 1/1 on the Easy Grid fabric. I bought all of my Easy Grid fabric, not all, okay, from two different places. I bought a yard from Stitchery Express. I've gotten it once or twice from there. And I know I bought a yard from Keepsakes up in Ohio. So if anybody needs a source, that's the source I used. Okay. This one I don't have the color copy because I had printed out black and white by accident. but this one is called Potions and Spells. This is one that I started for November this past year, for my birthday month. Potions and Spells, and this is partially due to Matt showing his Autumn Lane stitch restarts, and I needed to also. So I went and started this one during my birthday month. This is stitched on, do I have the tag? Hang on. Very sparkly. This is stitched on Yorick from Under the Sea Fabrics. It's a 28 count, and it's an opal. And that's all I got done. That's 200 stitches. That's everything. I only worked on it the one time. But this fabric's gorgeous. And the needle minder is, I believe, accoutrements. It was a gift. So I put the hat on the Witch Project. And I think this is hashtag. I'm trying to remember hashtags when I do them. I know that I was doing hashtag Happy Hooker Sale for this one, for the Baker's Wife. And this one is hashtag Autumn Lane Witchery Sale. For the, not, I know it's stitchery, but they're doing witchery sale for an Autumn Lane Witch. So that's the hashtag that's being used on that one. Ooh, another Halloweeny. Okay, this one I don't have the finished picture of because I got it out of the magazine. And I am stitching it on 32 count Pictures Plus Monster Mash Belfast linen. And it's Halloween Fairy by Nora Corbett. It is in the Cross Stitch and Needleworks September 2008 issue. If you're interested, I don't know if you'd be able to find the magazine or not. And that's how far I've gotten on that. I know I've worked on this at least twice. And I do have that needle minder still available. I'm really liking the way she's looking. I had originally wanted to start her on this spiderweb fabric that had a glittery spiderweb effect on it. But I think I cut the fabric wrong. It wasn't going to work. So I ended up, because of the fabric I was going to use, I knew I wasn't going to need the beads and stuff. But now that I'm doing the whole thing and I'm doing on this, I had to go get the beads and Kreinik and stuff for it. It's fine. It's fine. It's kitted. Next up. I also made myself an album for next year's WIP parade. I'll be able to do a start and a finish picture if I put that much effort into it. Let's be honest. The next one is called A Lady Named Ella. This one is from Ingleside Imaginarium. Bear with me, I'm trying to see what fabric I'm putting her on. Oh, here it is. Whew. Okay, it is 28 count Roslyn linen from Under the Sea Fabrics. This fabric came from my friend J-Long. I purchased this through Ingleside Imaginarium. They had a link if you donated to one of the causes for equality and something else, and then sent a screenshot of the receipt email. It could be any donation of your choice. So I really like this. My mom worked in costumes. She did wardrobe for the theater for years. I was able to do it with her for some, and I remember seeing renderings, drawn the renderings. I saw the renderings hang around the costume shops and stuff like that, and my mom had some from friends that were done. So I really like this whole idea. I started this one 2020. And this is the hashtag Representation Matters sale and Diversity and Inclusion sale. And this is how far I've gotten on her. I still have those needle minders. No, I still have some. This has taken a long time. I've worked on this like 3 times. I know I worked on it this year, but I've worked on it like about 3 or 4 times, and every time it takes a while. There's a lot of quarter stitches in this skirt. So it's going to take a while to stitch. I think it's going to be gorgeous, but the quarter stitches slow me down. It's hard to count off them for me, so it takes a lot of concentration. Alright, this one. This one is a full coverage. It is called Ugly Birds. It was charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, and it's Ciro Marchetti as the designer. And I am stitching this on 25 count, easy grid fabric, 1/1. I had this on, I basted it. I had this on my quantum frame because it's really long. Alright, it's like a scroll. Here we go. That's how much I've done. Apparently I cut it a little bit wide because that's as far as it goes. Now I could cut this off, but I'm just going to leave it for now. It's fine. I may still have him. I'm not quite sure if I have any more of him. That's how far I've gotten. You can see some flowers coming in. You can see the top of the one birdhouse coming in and the limb. And I don't know that I've worked on this since... I know I worked on it last year, but I think it was in the beginning of the year that I worked on it. Yeah, I think so. But I have a good amount of progress on that. And, of course, this will be included in one of my full coverage Friday weekend weeks. Because I'd like to see one of my full coverages finished. That would probably be the first one because it's the smallest one. Least amount of stitches. Alright. This is the last of the ones that were hanging up over there. This one is Pilgrims of Plymouth. This was started, and I wrote a date down, September 6th. It's from Twin Peak Primitives, and it was part of the hashtag Mayflower Landing sale. So I started it on September 6th because that's when the Mayflower landed. And I am stitching this on 32 count doubloon in Belfast linen. I needed a little bit on the sides to put it in my Q-snap, so I just sewed some fabric on either side, and we're actually on the top and bottom. So let's get orientation correct. There we go. There we go. I don't know that I worked on this last year at all. Maybe in the beginning of the year I put a few stitches in and that was it. But that's as far as I've gotten. I do still have some more of those magnets. Those minders, by the way. I really like the way this is showing up on this fabric. And I think it's gonna be really cute when it's done. Alright. I'm shedding, guys. Next. Big bag. I probably could put this in a smaller bag, but it's in here. It'll stay. This one is being stitched on 22 count Ada. 1/1. This is another Ciro Marchetti. I happen to really like him, apparently. From Heaven and Earth Designs. This is a Max Color Aqua City. This has 237 colors. And I'm only here. this is all I've gotten done. I'm going to even keep it folded up. That's all I've gotten done. These fish were like 2-3 stitches of one color, and that was it. That was it. But you put them together and you see a fish. So you can see the blue. Belinda, you can see the blue. Remember when you couldn't see the blue? You can definitely see the blue now. I have not worked on this. I don't know that I worked on this last year at all. Excuse me. It will definitely get some kind of love this year. Here's one that I am hoping to have finished this year. I should have no excuse not to finish it this year. One Nation from Bygone Stitches. I've used hashtag one big BA Nation for Big Ass Nation. And I've used it for other patriotic things, but I know that that's the one hashtag that I go to on that. Did I write down anything else? No. This is stitched on 32 count Creek Bed Brown, which is by R&R Reproduction. No. Yeah. I do believe it's by R&R Reproductions. And the only thing I did was I'm using the called for threads, but I changed out the State Pennsylvania to Golden Rainbow from Victoria Motto Stitchery. This is a big one. My board's not going to be big enough. Okay. I finished all the stars and the borders for the stars. And I moved down and over, and I finished the 2 stripes right underneath the stars and all the stripes next to the stars. Then I moved down some more, and I'm working on the next 2 rows because it's easier to at least do 2 rows as I'm going across. I do have this working off my adiposy. I have 2 more rows under here, so 4 rows to finish across the bottom. Now, if you look, I don't know, there's only 2 states on the bottom one anyway, Alaska and Hawaii, and then it's these flowers, because I guess it's a star here but a flower here, right, in red. So that's what I have left to finish are these 2 rows, and then a good portion of those 2 rows. So it definitely can be finished. And I know I could work on a state, and well, I can't work on a star. I finished all the stars, but I could like work, at least put in a state and what's around it probably once a week and be done. But in theory, that sounds great. In actuality, not happening. But I know for the new Magical Stitches group, it's going to be my go-to. I think that's the group where it's my go-to. I'm confused. I joined some groups. I know I'm in Hell Stitching, and I'm in the Stitching Dead and Magical Stitches, and I don't know if I'm coming or going. That's why I have a book. Alright, this one. This next one is another full coverage, and this is from Heaven and Earth Design, the artworks by Carol Calaveras, who passed away last year. And it's called Spirit of the Dragonfly. This was gifted to me from my friend Linda in Korea. It's on 22 count Ada. No, 22 count. I think it's 22 count magic grid. I think that's what it's called, because it's 20 by 20 squares instead of 10 by 10 squares. And it's stitched all the way down to here because there's so much white in between. And it's definitely going to need to be washed to get all those lines out, and you can see the lines through it. So that's how far I've gotten on that. I think in the beginning of the year, I had put in maybe 400 to 800 stitches, like 2 blocks worth. But that's as far as I've gotten. And the needle minder I'm using for that, this is It's got a little tangling. This was a gift from Sherry, Stitching with a Dotson. She had sent me that because she knew I like dragonflies. Alright. Let's see, next. Next is artwork by David Hoffrey, and it is Retired. It's Mini Space Traveler from Heaven and Earth Designs. There we go. Now, on this one, I had since decided that I don't want to stitch the whole entire thing. So I'm doing from like here on over and about here on up. I've already marked it off on my pattern keeper. So here's where I'm at. This right here is the page sides, and I think the bottom's around here, if I'm not mistaken. I know I worked on this year at least twice, and the last time I worked on it, I started just filling in little ninja stitches and moving down with the color as I went, and I even did a little bit over there. This is still available, by the way, in my group. Getting thirsty. All right. This one. This is Dimensions, Charts, and Charms. It's called Animal Magnetism. Excuse me. This is out of print and it's hard to find. Just to let you know. I found mine at the cupboard. And because I had it before and it was stolen. I actually had half of this done before. Or a good third of it done before. And it was stolen. The bag and everything. So here is where I'm at with that. I don't know that I worked on this year at all. I don't remember working on it. If I did, the last time I worked on this, I worked on the giraffe and the zebra. So if I did work on it, it was in there somewhere, but I don't remember working on it this year. And this is available in my group also, by the way. I had done the vote to see which one I was going to finish, and a lot of people did like this one. It didn't win because the moose won, but I will be making sure to get some more stitches in that one. Alright, let me move some stuff. I'll be back. Alright, put those back, cleaned up a little bit, and on to the next pile. My next one is a Mill Hill, but I had also said before, for my 6-inch Mill Hills, I put them on stretcher bars. This one that I'm working on right now, and Connor's thirsty, is Winter Wonderland. It was a kit, and it came with all the stuff, and this is the mini stretcher bar that I use. That's the tacks that hold in the paper. And I found a set of stretcher bars when I was cleaning up, and basically you buy 2 sets and then you connect them on the corners. It will make a square, I promise, the way you put it together. Anyway, connect them on the corners and you get a box of tacks also, and this little prier, this little plastic thing will pry them up when you're done, so you're not ripping your paper and stuff. So I figured I'd show you that real quick. But I found an extra set, and I did work on Winter Wonderland this year. I had put in, I'm just going to put this on the back of it. I had put in all this light blue here, and I did a little bit down here and through here for some little fiddly parts that I had missed the first time in there. So that's how much I had gotten done for this year. And hopefully I'll get this one done this year because I have a couple more that I'd like to start. Alright. Ouch. Ow! I just took out my knee. Next one is, I don't have a full picture of her, but this is Dark Queen of the Sea. This was a mystery sale from Wonderland Stitchery. I had bought the whole kit. I'm wondering if I printed out the paper of where what the fabric was and everything. Okay. I did get the treasures, the beads and treasures. When it first started, they had offered the thread. It's under the sea fabrics. So the beads and the fabric was a pack through Under the Sea. You had to order that from Under the Sea Fabrics. And then you ordered the charts from Autumn Lane Stitchery. And this is how far I got with mine. Basically, I have not yet finished part 2. I'm almost finished part 2. I just have her belly and her little side fling things, side gills to do for part 2. But that's how much I had gotten done. And I know I worked on this year because I did all this hot pink, this magenta color up there, fuchsia. Is that what that is? I don't know. I did that. So I worked up her hips and up to her belly, and I just haven't finished that portion yet. So many others have kept up with the sale and finished her. Not me. That needle minder, Ursula, I do have more of her available in my group. Gunner's just going to continue to munch while I'm here. Dog's got to do what a dog's got to do, right? Alright. This one I started for the 20th anniversary of the 9/11 attack, and it is Stitch and Joel's design, NYC Twin Towers scene. And I put hashtag remember 9/11 sale, and some people are using that. So I started this on September 11th of this year, this past year, and I am stitching this on 32 count Mirage from Picture This Plus. And is it an even weave, or is it, I think it's an even weave. It's Lugana. Yeah, it's an even weave. And that is how far I've gotten. I think I got a good start on it. I worked on it 2 or 3 times, 2 or 3 nights, and I got that part done. That needle minder is available on my group, by the way. But I'm liking how it's looking. This one isn't quite full coverage, so it won't be on the full coverage Friday, but hopefully I'll get some more done during the year. There's a lot of prompts in a couple of the groups, so I have the potential to work on a whole bunch of different things. Alright. This one I have... Here we go. This was a gift from Laurel, which is Laurel Ann here on Flosstube. It's Silver Moon Tea from Memorabilia. And I'm using hashtag Silver Moon Tea Sale. I am stitching this on a piece of lilac from Fabric Flare. Yes, it's tea, and I put a coffee needle minder on her. And I have those available in my group. I got a good bit done on her. I started her this past year, and I forget when exactly. I think it was this past year, in the beginning of the year I started her. Or at the very end of last year. But I did get a good bit done on her. Her big old paddle hand holding her teacup. So I'm happy with the progress that I did get on that. That is actually a full coverage, so that would count. Maybe I'll get this one done before I finish Angry Birds. I keep on wanting to call it Angry Birds. Ugly Birds. Who knows? Okay. Next I have my Stormtrooper in the bag that I got from, oh, she changed her name. Slub Lover Stitches. She used to be, What the Foe. And she sent me this bag and she had made me this little fob. She stitched that. And this is a Stormtrooper. It's a kit. It's a Disney kit. I think it's put out by, I don't know. This says Disney. And I know that Stitchery Express had these. I don't know if she has any more. I did not put it on the Ada that came with it. I decided to pull out a different piece of fabric, and I hope that I wrote. It's called Holly's Request. It's from Dames of the Needle, and it is a 32 count fabric. And that's all he's got done. I know I've worked on him a whole 2 times. I picked him up, started him, and I'm pretty sure I started on May 4th for Star Wars Day, and that was it. And one time after. So that's all I've got on him. I know I have more of those needle minders also available if you're interested. So I'm using the called for threads, just not the called for fabric. Moving right along. This is a bag from, it's called blueq.com, and it's like 95% post-consumer materials. They use the bags from. I think they're cute, and they're adorable. This one's called Dressed Monkey on a Throne. We had a big old joke in Virtual Stitchers, and we ended up finding this chart, and a whole bunch of us bought it, and we started stitching it. My monkey's name is Gracie. She's being stitched on 18 count Ada because it's full coverage. And I just drew the grid on myself. This is how far I've gotten with her. So that's the window and the wall. From the window to the wall. And the toilet paper's down here somewhere. And Deadpool is available on my group, by the way. I got a good bit done. I think I did a lot of this green this past year and some more of this white. But I got a few hundred stitches done on her this year. So I know I stitched that. Here is another blue Q bag. And there. This one still has the tag on it. These blue Q bags. 95% recycled materials. In here, do I have the Penny America chart available here? Let me see. I tried to keep all these together, guys. Okay. Penny America from Tree of Life Samplings. These are still available. I know she sells on Etsy, and I think you can get her from any LNS. They can order it. And I had this piddly little star. I started this one, I think just this past year I started it. I don't have any more of these. I had these for a little bit. But that's all I started was in this top left corner. That little swirl up there, and that's it. I think I'm using, what am I using? I'm using some DMC and some Victoria Motto threads, and I think there's a Weeks Dye Works in there, so I must have just pulled what I wanted. Sounds about right. Yeah, I started it, and I got, I couldn't even tell you, about 200 stitches in on it. That's 200 little tiny stitches, and that was it. And that is being stitched on, I didn't even tell you. Do I have it written down? I do. It's being stitched on 32 count Heroic Belfast from Pictures Plus. Heroic's a good patriotic fabric. Alright, this one. This one I know I stitched a good bit on this year. I was like power stitching on it for a while. And it is Donna, it's a Quixote Picasso from LA Geek. They are on Etsy. And it's, there it is. It's all in DMC 310. And I am stitching it on 32 count Hermosa. Let's see. That's how much I got done on him. I did a whole bunch. I think when I had this in the beginning of the year, this is all that was done on him, and I did all of that. It's looking good. This needle minder is available in my group still. I'm glad I picked this fabric because I know he was battling depression and psychosis, delusional. So I think the blue shows the storminess going on through his brain. All right. This bag I bought from Needle Bling. It's cute. Next, let's get into the bags that are over here. How about that? Pull a whole bunch over. Excuse me while I rearrange again. Alright. So, this next one is Teresa Winsler's Petite Peacock and Unicorn. So, the one I'm stitching is this one, and it's called Peacock Majesty. Zoom in there. So that's what it's supposed to look like when I'm done. In theory, it will look like that. And I need to take it off this Q-snap. That's what I need to do. I have a thread. I'm a hot mess. All right. These clamps on here. I had started this on, it's on blue. I think it's just called blue, and it's from Fabric Flare, and I think it's a 32 count. That's all I've gotten done on her. There's a lot of blends and quarter stitches. Let's pull this thread down here. There we go. And I made this needle minder out of a pin that a friend of mine got me. It's a Mary Engelbreit pin. But that's all I've gotten done on that. I know last year I had decided I wanted to do at least 500 stitches on each one of my WIPs. And I started doing that, and this was the one that I ended up stopping. And it didn't make me stop. It's just events happened. And I just never ended up following through with it, but I have a different focus this year that should still get me a good amount of stitches on most of my WIPs. Or I'd like to still do 500 stitches on each of my WIPs, so there's that. I did join WIP Go to help that process. Let's put these back on the shelf as I go along. I think that'll be easier. Alright. I thought when I was looking at all my, I don't have the pictures of them. I do have pictures. I'll show you. So, I thought these two would be part of my finishes for the year, and that was not the case because I'm a slacker, I guess. I don't know. I just, yeah, best laid plans. I did get a good amount of finishes for the year, but okay. So there's Moi, which is Miss Piggy, and then there's Kermit. And it's not easy being green. So Kermit, I got 200 stitches on. This was one of my November starts. My birthday, November month. And I started on his eye, and he's got 200 stitches, and that's it. This needle minder was from, I can't remember her name. She was at Stitch West, and I had bought a couple of the clay needle minders from her. The fabric is 28 count and was dyed by Megan, Stitch in May on Flosstube. And here is Miss Piggy. She got 200 stitches, and then I think like another 100 or something. And that was it. Megan dyed that fabric also. And she's gonna dye the fabric for Meep, which is Beaker. So that's how far I got with those. Once it started winding down in December, I picked what I could, definitely, and then just went from there. And ended up with another new start. So there's that. But that's fine. This next one was a recent start. I think I started this October 31st or November 1st. But it's October 31st. I bought this when I was at Stitch West. I'd seen it before and I knew I wanted to get it, so it was on my shopping list in my head that I wanted to buy this one. By Cottage Garden. I did not use the called for threads. I think I used all DMC. I'm looking. I used the DMC called and Banker's Gray was the gray that I picked. But there's another. There's Raven. And I think I just chose black. I think I just chose 310 instead. So the tin bucket I'm doing in Banker's Gray. But here's where I got 200 stitches in it. I am stitching it on 32 count Diversity Lugana from Mystic Fabrics. I don't remember where I got the fabric from either. I'm trying to remember. Nope, it's gone. Don't remember. And that's another one of those clay needle minders that I had bought when I was at Stitch West. It's in here. And I used a little, these are thread drops that I had gotten at Stitch West. And Audrey, because they were all Halloween themed. Kept with the theme. Alright, next. What's next? That's going to be Reindeer Games. Reindeer Games by Country Cottage. Kitted this one up with fabric that I had bought when I was at Stitch West. And I am not using the called for threads. I am using Victoria Motto threads and a thread that's not being made anymore. I decided to choose the colors I liked for Christmas. And I'm stitching it on this gray snowflake fabric. It's one of my favorite fabrics from Fabric Flare, because then I don't have to stitch all the snowflakes, right? And that's how far I got. That was 200 stitches. I think that was a November start. I got 200 stitches in and stopped. this needle minder is available on my group. In theory, this should be a pretty quick stitch until I move up to that house and then lose my mind. So there's that. Alright, next. I forget if I started this during my birthday month or in, I think I might have started around Halloween though, or right before. And it is called Salem. It's from Verbena. She is on Etsy. I think it's called Verbena Cross Stitch on Etsy. And I am stitching this one on 32 count permanent linen. It's very kind of stiff and gauzy. And I picked Old Willow Stitchery threads. These two, orange and gray, for it, and then just plain 310 black. That's the original Old Willow Stitchery thread, by the way. And that's how far I got. And I'm pretty sure that's about 200 stitches, maybe a few more, just to finish off the thread. But I just worked on his wing, and then called him a start. Alright. Next one is what I started for my birthday. The chart I had for a while, but the fabric was purchased for me from Aussie Stitcher Belinda. It's a half yard because it's a big one. And let me do it like this. Let me find the chart. I told you, I'm a hot mess if you don't know. Here's the chart. So, I chose the DMC for the lettering and then the overdyes for the stars and such. I don't even remember how many stitches I got on this. I think I got a good 500 stitches or so. And that needle minder is available on my group. But I got a good start, and that's actually the end of the page there. The first page. It's got several pages, but it's a pretty large print chart. And it's stitched on Vanilla Latte 32 count from Bestitch Me. I thought that was a perfect color for that one. And I put it in my little patriotic bag that I made. Alright, next. This one is Madame Chantilly's Halloweentown. I forget when I started it. It's been a while. And I am stitching this on 32 count Lush Meadow from Dames of the Needle, and I'm using DMC instead of the threads that they, it's in Italian, so Marquis and Riolus. I don't know what those are. Anyway, they must be some kind of Italian threads that I don't know about. And I don't remember when I started this, but it's been a while, and that's all I got on there. It was 2 roofs and some of a house. I had pulled this out to work on it again for something, but ran out of time. So it only got worked on once. That needle minder is available in my group. We're getting there. We are getting there. And I have to put these away. I've already found where I had fabric from one project and another project, and I don't know how I did that. I really don't. It totally confused me. This next one is... Where is it? Here he is. Hedgehog House. I have not worked on him in forever. I think I worked on him once this year to make sure. I had to fix a mistake. And I knew there was a mistake. That's why he was on his Q-snap and he flew into the corner and stayed there for a while. And then I put it away. And then I finally this year went and looked for the mistake. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was, which is great. And then I fixed the mistake and then did a little bit more. That I purchased at Stitchery Express. I don't know if she still has them because Lena Lawson wasn't going to be printing for a while. Indefinitely. We don't know. But this is how far I am on him. My mistake was over here somewhere, but it's since been fixed. And I can move on from there. I'm thinking once I get this part done, I should probably do some of that back stitch at the top there because there's going to be a lot of back stitch on this sucker. This needle minder is available on my group, and the fabric, I love the fabric that I chose, by the way. It is called Peddler's Blend, and it's a 32 count, and it's available at Dames of the Needle. Alright, I'll just put that there, and I'll put a couple away at a time. My next one, this is from a Just Cross Stitch magazine, and it's, I wrote this down. I started this August 25th, 2019. If I worked on this, it was in the beginning of the year. And this is from Just Cross Stitch magazine, February 2000. And it's the Grapes Pillow. Designer is Donna Vermillion Giampa. This is a lot of tweeting, blended threads. But that's how far I've gotten on this one. And I think I still have those in my group, by the way. But that's how far I've gotten on that. From the bat, there was blended threads. But once you get into it and get a flow, it's not too bad. What I did do, I don't know if this will help those that are doing blended threads, for when I use the floss cards, I made spaces for where there's going to be blended threads. So that's why the lines are there. So this is 4 blended threads here. So if I blend 2, I know I can put them with it and keep on going. Because sometimes you don't need the whole length that you cut off. This is on 28 count something. It's white. It's an even weave. It's, I don't know why I can, Monaco. I don't know why I can never remember Monaco. But I'm pretty sure that's what that is. Because I just needed white fabric. I didn't need anything fancy. So I picked up that at probably like Michael's or something like that. Next one is a recent start. I think I started this one maybe during my birthday month or maybe in December. I'm not quite sure. Maybe I did start in December. I don't know. Emerald Mermaid. I can't remember when I started it. This was gifted to me by Belinda, Aussie Stitcher. And I chose to put her on Under the Seas 32 count Atlantis. And I put 200 stitches in at least. And I started on her hand. And that, I guess, sea flowers, because it looks like roses and seaweed at the same time. Anyway, but that's as far as I got on her, and he's available in my group. E.T., who's so cute. But that's all I got on her so far. With 22 new starts, it seems like I have a whole bunch with just a little bit on there. Because I have a whole bunch with just a little bit on there, by the way. It's okay. It just means that I'm never at a loss for something to do. Here's one that should be a quicker finish once I get a prompt that I need to stitch on for it. And this was Stitching with Friends. This is a chart that was given to us for free from the little stitcher. She was at the retreat. And the colors she chose are not my faves. So I went and chose my own colors. And I decided to go with Silks for You. I had gotten a pack of samples. Well, you know, samples. They're smaller skeins that sort of all match. And I decided to go with those. It's like a sampler pack, I guess I should say. And I stuck it on 36 count linen hand dyed by Vicki Clayton. And I don't think she makes it anymore, so. But that's how far I got, and that's 200 stitches. And that's the needle minder that they gave us at Stitch West. So once I get stitching on it again, it shouldn't take extremely long to get this one finished. I think I did good with trying to add some smalls into all the starts that I did. Getting a headache. Right away. Next. This one is limited edition. And this was unlimited edition kit from Ink Circles back in 2019. It was, I think it was Galleria. I want to say Galleria. So you had the choice between 32 and 36 count. And I chose 32 count because it's my fave. And it had everything in it to stitch it. Even the little thread drop thing. She chose hand dyed, so that was Waggart linen. And I don't know who dyed it though. I don't know who dyed it, and she used Weeks. It might be from Weeks Dye Works, by the way, because she used their threads. And I know I got 200 stitches in. That's all I got. This is a little Starbucks cup needle minder. I still have those available in white, blue, and black. That's all the further I got on that one. That one I had wanted to start. I finally went and started it during my birthday month. I was like, let me just get it started. Sooner I get it started, sooner I'll be able to just go stitch on it, right? Right. This one needs to be done already, but sometimes I like it, sometimes it aggravates me with the few stitches here and there. It is called Olivia Ochre Leaf. And I don't know where her chart went. Where'd you go? Here she is. Silver Creek Samplers. I started this. I don't know what year I started it. It was a couple years ago, a few years ago. But I think she's really pretty. But I just can't. I don't know. It ebbs and flows. This is on a piece of 32 count Kale linen from Vicki Clayton hand dyed fibers. And I'm using, I think I used whatever I could as far as called for, and then subbed in others when I didn't have it. And that's how far I got. I know part of my problem now is this sleeve, because I messed it up a couple of times. But it'll be fixed. It's fine. It's fine. That's how far I got. Now, in here, she has where you do the sprinkling of stitches to sort of fill in. I'm not doing the sprinkling of stitches, by the way. I can't stand fiddly stitches like that. I did some of them in some of the bigger parts, but I'm not doing all of them. There's no way. I just can't be bothered. All right. That was the top row. Let me get the bottom row. Okay, so I unzipped the rest of the bags that I have. That'll be a little bit easier, right? My next one, I decided to do the Early Americans from Little House, right? All of them. And I'm going to do them all on the same fabric, and I'm just stitching the border and then going to take like a, and to the next, okay? This is how far I've gotten on the very first one, which is Betsy Ross. That's it. I'm using the called for threads, and the fabric I'm using is 36 count Bramble from Picture This Plus. I started it, and I think that's all from pretty much one sitting when I started it, and that was it. I haven't touched it since. What's wrong with me? Alright. Next one. Yoda. Yoda is from Valente Cross Stitch on Etsy. And it says, do or do not, there is no try. I am stitching him on 32 count Joblin called Wedgwood Blue Dark, and it is from Hand Dyed by the Slovak Farm. And that's how far I've gotten on him. Move my needle minder. There we go. I know I worked on him this year. I did a lot in here somewhere. I don't know why there's a big block of color not colored in. Maybe I ran out of thread. Who knows? But that's how far I've got. Why is there a dot there? That is so weird. I think something pressed on it. It'll be fine once it gets ironed. It'll be fine. I think it's from the magnet I had pressing on it. Okay, so don't put it on your stitching. You squish it after a while. I enjoy stitching this when I need big blocks of color. So I know I did stitch this year, and I got a couple hundred stitches on it. I do have a Yoda minder. It's just not that. It's that picture, but a little bit smaller. Next, now the dog's moving again, and he's like bumping into me. He is more than welcome to go lay on the couch, but because I'm here, that's where he needs to be. So he squishes himself under the table. Glutton for punishment. He's got his bed under there too. So he's all cushioned. Alright. Next one. Artis and Hulk Castle. This, I am almost sure I got this when it was a freebie for a while. I downloaded it. And we did an Artis start. A full coverage Artis start with Joni, and I think it was like the Joni Artis sale or something like that. This is being stitched on 18 count Ada. I think it's just a cream color or off-white color using the called for threads. That's all I've gotten done on that. I may or may not have put a few stitches in this year. I think I did in the beginning of the year. And I still have those minders available in my group. But the trees are coming in, right? The branches, they're showing. I don't know how pixelated it's going to look. I hope it's not too pixelated, though. Hopefully that turns out decent, because I know it's not a huge one. I know the larger they are, the better they look. They don't look as pixelated. But we'll go with it. And I do believe I'm doing 2/1 with the DMC on that. This next one, I know I worked on this year because I fixed a mistake. This is the Fox and Rabbit or Linen and Threads Mystery Sampler for 2020. I had only printed out up to March, so that's the only preview you got. But a lot of people have finished it, and it's still available on their website for free. All the parts are done. And I am stitching this on 36 count fabric from Vicki Clayton. And that's as far as I got. I'm using Silks for You PR 152. And it goes from the blue to the purple. The part I had to fix was right in here somewhere. I think it was around in here. So I fixed it, and then I carried on with doing some more. But hey, progress is progress. I had put it aside because I knew I made a mistake. So I'd put it aside for a while, and then finally decided I needed to dig that out. Alright. Next one. Around the World in 80 Days. This one was a start for my birthday month this year. And I don't know what threads I'm using, to tell you the truth. Let's see. I'm using most of the called for, except for like 2. And I'm stitching it on 32 count Lugana Poltergeist by Silk Weaver to make it look like a stormy sky out there. And I got 200 stitches in, that was it. Working on the house. It's a never-ending story. Which I figure a book for a book, right? And that needle minder is available on my group. I had wanted to start this one for a while, and I didn't kit it up, and then when I knew I was going to do all the starts, I went and made sure that I had the fabric. I knew the threads wasn't going to be a problem. It was the fabric I couldn't decide on. Alright, next. This one I don't have a picture for you. It is 12 Days of Christmas. It's a freebie from 2015 from Plum Street Samplers. If you Google Plum Street Samplers blog, they're on Blogspot. And I know I posted the link in my group, and if you need the link, just message me and I'll get it to you, because it's, if you go to the blog, there's a line on the side, there's a whole row of links. At the bottom, it's like the Sunday freebie, mystery freebie or something like that. You click on that, or Sunday mystery stitch, click on that and it'll take you to the chart. But this is 12 Days of Christmas. I chose Victoria Motto threads, and that's how far I've gotten on that. This year I finished day 1 and started day 2, so I had a very small start on this, and this year I made sure to get the 1 block done. And there are only 4 colors. There's the red, the gold, the green, and some black. And you pick your own colors too. You can do it all in one, whatever you want. She doesn't tell you what colors to use. She said to do what you choose. This next one is an ink circles. It's called Henna Mandala. And it is stitched on 32 count Georgia Peach Cobbler from Dixie Sampler Fabrics. And it's stitched with Silks for You PR067. And this is my hashtag BFF sale. Gina and I are stitching this. She had to restart hers. I've had to frog a few times, and I think I might even have to frog again. I'm not quite sure. I had the hardest time with this part up here, and then I messed up over here somewhere, and I think I have to frog like all that in there. Not sure, but I know I did work on this year. I love this fabric because it looks like skin. And then this looks like the henna color when you actually get the henna tattoos. Negan is available. I don't have many of him left, but I know I have some of him left in my group. And we made bags. Well, I made bags for the both of us. We both have ours in this bag. Let's put my working copy back in there. Alright, next. Three, 4T. That would be this one. I am stitching these girls on Allure from Fabric Flare, and it was a myfabricparty.com monthly, and it's a limited edition. It was from the April package that I got. There we go. And that's all I've gotten done on them. I worked on them a couple of times. It was a lot of block stitching of the white. But I did work a few times on them to get that much done. And I bought that needle minder. I'm almost positive I bought from Rebel Stitcher. And it says, no mistakes, just happy accidents. Bob Ross. And, alright, fold that up. Pretty sure I started that this year. I'm almost positive I started the girls this year. Have that in my Bob Ross bag. I don't know if I have any more Bob Ross fabric. There we go. Next one. Okay. This is going to be a long-standing series of different Santas, so when I finish one, I'll start another. But I had finished one. This was the next one I started. It's 2019 Santa. Not quite sure when I actually started. I think it might have been this year. And I've only worked on them like 2 or 3 times. I am stitching these all in my colorway. I started with the red being Cupid, and I decided to stay with the classic colorworks for the most part, and a few DMC here and there. They're all going to be stitched on 32 count Dirty U from Dames of the Needle. And here is as far as I've gotten on this particular one. And here's the one I had already finished. So if you notice, I did some of this on purpose to make it sort of look like wrinkles, so it wasn't just striped. I don't like when my overdyes are striped back and forth. So I finished him in 2020, so I either started this one last year or I started in the beginning of the year. So there's no 2021. Well, there's that 2021, so that's not too bad, right? So he needs to be finished this year and another one started. It's going to be the Perpetual Project. Anybody else have any Perpetual projects like that? I have, like, I don't want to show you the chart, but it's all in this bag, and it's heavy because there's like a yard of the Dirty You I bought, or half yard. I forget how much I bought, but I made sure to buy a good amount so I could just keep on putting them on the same fabric, even though there's going to be two different colorways, because it's either the way they make the fabric now, or the materials they use to make the fabric, or the dye that she buys is different. So it's just a little off by a shade, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's close enough for me. I don't mind. So let's go on to the next one. The next one is the bookshelf from Little House Needleworks. There's a picture. I started this not last year. I think I started, maybe I started it last year, in the beginning of last year. But I did work on it this year a little bit. That's as far as I got. I do believe I got that needle minder from Mad for Minders. Almost positive. So now I got some of the ladies' names in there this year, and finished the word bookshelf. And I think I even put the gold in the bind, in the spines this year. I don't know when, but I know I did it this year. I am stitching this on 32 count lamb's wool Joblin. I thought it needed a nice crisp, non-mottled color. Next one is a Bee Comes. This one, the Bee Comes. This is from Lila Studio. Lila? Are they calling it Lila? Is it Lila? Lila? I don't know what. Anyway, that's what it is. Alright. I am stitching this one on, I don't know. Oh, and I didn't write it down. Oh, this has got to be, nope. I am a hot mess, guys. Oh, okay, there it is. I am stitching it on the called for fabric. It's a 32 count, though, instead of 40 count. Doubloon by Picture This Plus. And I'm not using the called for colors. I'm using what I had that matched good enough for me, apparently. And two called fors. So that's how far I've gotten. I don't know that I worked on it this year. I don't remember. I think I might have. Wait. Okay, it was a new start for New Year, New Start last year. Not last year, the year before. I had to have worked on this last year. Maybe it was in the beginning of the year or the first half of the year. But I had to have worked on it because I feel like it's been not as far as 2020. That's my story. That's what I'm sticking with. This one is a kit that was sent to me by Vicky Reading and Stitching. One of the coveted Disney collection. It's the mini, which is fine. I did swap out the fabric because I was not stitching it on the Ada that they gave. I think it was a 16 count Ada, if I'm not mistaken. I put it on white. I wanted to say it's Valerie. It feels kind of acrylic-y. I was looking to see if I had a... I don't think I knew at the time what it was. And that's all I got. Wait, is that even... I think that's the top. Yeah, it is. That's all I got. I think I put 50, not even 50 stitches in. Was it 50 or 25? Maybe. I did not work on it since I started it, and I don't remember when I started it. Let me see. Does it say on here? Some I've surprised myself and wrote it down on some of them. I got nothing. Total slacker. I know I have it somewhere, but anyway, obviously I started it and did not pick it up again. Just because other things. This is Joblin, it says, but it feels, maybe because it doesn't have dye on it. 32 count Joblin. I did find a tag on it. Alright. I knew I had to go 32 count or 36 count with it because they gave you the threads, but not the DMC colors. So I wanted to make sure that the count was right. Next one. Needle Bling Designs Spangled Happiness. I'm doing the bigger one. And this is going on Heroic, 32 count Heroic from PTP. And I started in the upper left-hand corner, and that's all I got done. I think I started this when I was on Virtual Stitchers, and I needed blocks of color, and those little triangles were the perfect thing to stitch at the time. I am stitching mine using Victoria Motto samplers, threads that I pulled to match, because I have so much of it. I gotta use it. There we go. Another one down. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. I mean, so is next Christmas, but that's beside the point. Next is another Panic Kit. Remember when I made that little slip? Because this is Clockwork Bird. Bought this at mybobbin.com. I know they still have them. I did switch out the fabric. Did I switch out the fabric? No. No, it came with this fabric. It came with the linen. So I did not switch out the fabric. And that's how much I got. Which I don't know. It might be 300 or 400 stitches. Not bad. Not a bad start. That says, I always get it wrong. Your mother is a hamster and your father smelled of elderberries. I always say it wrong, so I have to read it. Anyway, it's from Monty Python. That's available in my group. That was another start for my November birthday starts, because there was 22 of those starts, by the way. Next, Doctor Who. This is from Oh My Stitch Shop on Etsy. I think I started this in 2020. I want to say I stitched on it this past year. I just don't remember specifically. And it's on 32 count Dapple Belfast linen from Pictures Plus. And that's how far I got. So he's got a big chunk done. I don't remember where I got this one. This reminder might be from Map Reminders or Stitchingly Along. I can't remember. I got it a while ago though. I know my last two parts of my videos were at least a half hour each, and we're running almost a half hour here, so it's gonna be a long one. Sorry, not sorry. You came here for it. Okay, another one of my November birthday starts, and it is Tilton Crafts Zodiac 1896. And I want to say 1896 is also the year that the first Olympic sports were done. Little tidbit of information that I saw not too long ago. It's being done on 25 count easy red fabric with the called for DMC. It is a full coverage. I did get 200 stitches in. Actually, I got over 200 stitches. I think I got 300 stitches in on it. And that's it. So you can see the lines are showing through on the lighter colors, but that's fine. Got some parking going on because I wasn't, you know, it's fine. And I'm using the needle minder that Audrey had sent me, along with one of my M&M needle minders. 2 of my M&M needle minders to hold my threads out of the way. So that was a newer start, full coverage, because I don't have enough full coverage started. Right? Right. It's fine. Everything's fine. Oh, by the way, do I have it here? I made myself a scissor fob. Got these pendants. I found this pendant, so I made myself a scissor fob. I have another pendant like this, by the way, that I can make either a scissor fob or thread drop or Frogger minder. It's on my group if you're interested. But that's why I bought them, so I can make myself a scissor fob. I have wanted to start this for a while. This is Ingleside Imaginarium's Guardians of Notre Dame. And I saw everybody stitch it and I liked it, but I was tired of seeing everybody stitch it, so I waited until I felt like doing it. So there's that. I am stitching this on. I'm looking to see if I have the tag for the fabric or not, or if I have it written down somewhere. There it is. 32 count Victoria Motto linen in the color Shadows. It was one of the monthly before I stopped getting it. This is how far I've gotten. I'm pretty sure that's at least 200, if not 300 stitches. And I'm just started with the first part of it, because it's still broken into months, even when you download the whole thing. I'm liking it. I'm doing it in the called for colors. This needle minder is available in my group. I'm pretty sure I started this one my birthday month. I'm almost positive. That was another November start. Next. The next one is Garden Prelude by Memorabilia. Now, I am stitching her and her violin. I am not doing the arches or the flowers. And I'm stitching her on 32 count Northern Lights from Fabric Flare. This is the fabric. If you're interested. And this is where I've gotten to. I might have put in 50 or 100 stitches on her this year. This needle minder is from Matt from NBC Stitcher. And that's how far I've gotten. I started down there so I can make sure she was properly positioned on the fabric where the picture, where it needs to be on the lakeside or ocean side or glacier side, wherever that is, on the shore. She should be getting some stitches in soon, I think. Maybe. I don't know. I forget what the prompts are at this point. There's different prompts out there, so. I know I'm working on one of the ladies. I just can't remember which one. I'm not going to look it up the list. It's not that important. Let's move along. Okay, my next one. This is stitched on Peddler's Blend 32 count, again from Dames of the Needle. And it's Heartstring Sampleries. Coffee Drinker's Confession. This one is number 5, called The Magical Elixir Series, Part 5. I don't have a problem with coffee. I have a problem without coffee. And here it is. That's how far I've gotten. I don't remember when I started this, but I think I stitched on this in the beginning of the year, I want to say. Either the beginning of this year, this past year, or the end of the 2020. Did I? I did not write down when I started it. I'm bad about writing down when I start. Oh well. It's fine. Alright. This is one I started for my birthday in 2020. It is The Fairy and the Dragon. It's a Joan Elliott. She is being stitched on .32 count Electric Wisps. It's a fabric. It was a myfabricparty.com monthly for September 2020. Belinda sent me this needle minder, and that's how far I've gotten on that. I know that I did definitely work on this year. So I've got all that dragon wing in, and then I started the fairy wings. I know Belinda started hers at the same time, and maybe Sarah from Sarah King, My Stitching Kingdom. And I know Belinda started in the center, so hers looks totally different, but I really like that on this fabric. I feel like this fabric was almost made for this. Alright. We're getting to the end. We're getting there. This next one is Native American Angel. I started this on Indigenous Peoples Day in 2020 because it was a landmark day. That's why I remember that date. And I know it wasn't this year, it was last year. So, Indigenous Peoples Day 2020. I have to frog some blue. I wrote myself a note. So basically, this is not supposed to be blue. When I was stitching, I was like, why are they putting blue there? That totally doesn't make sense because it's not blue. It's the wrong, I chose the wrong color. It's fine. It's not that many stitches. So next time I go to stitch, I'll go and pick that out first and then move on. But that's how far I've gotten with her. And she is on, I want to say it's 32 count Navajo Treasure from Fortnite Fabrics. I'm almost positive it's 32 count. I know it's Fortnite Fabrics and I know it's Navajo Treasure, but I'm not sure if it's, I think it's 32 count, not 28. And I thought this color was definitely perfect for her, not just because of the name, but just because the color works too. All right, and then I've got this one. This is one by Jean-Baptiste Mange, Lena Lawson. It's Hunter. I am stitching this, doing the little Sal or, start along type thing with Amy. Amy Love says, hi Amy. And I think she's a little further than I am. I'm almost positive. But It's fine. It's totally fine. This is on 32 count Moonlit Tree from Fabric Flare. When I bought Moonlit Tree, I also bought Northern Lights because I wasn't sure which one I was going to put Garden Prelude on. So once I decided on Northern Lights, I had this piece. So when I had decided to do Hunter, I thought he needed to go under this tree with the moonlight. See? And this is how far I've gotten. I know I worked on him this year. That's how far I've got. I've got frog butt, basically. I'm looking. I think this little bit of brown is part of the leaf that's on that little gnome. But that's a lot of stitches, guys. It really is. It's a lot of stitches. It's a lot of color changes. But it'll be so cute. I'm looking because they have a lot of backstitch in these charts, but the bottom doesn't have a lot of backstitch, but he's going to have it. He's going to make up for whatever the frog doesn't, for sure. Alright. And it's got about every green DMC, almost every green DMC has in that chart, by the way, in case you were interested. Alright. Here's one. I know I worked on them a little bit this year. This is Vader from... It used to be Stitch Line Shop, but now it's Stitch Area on Etsy. I believe it was Missy Purcell that had finished this, and I kept on watching her progress, and when she finished, I was like, I need that, so I went and bought it. They have since shut down their Stitch Line Shop and started Stitch Area, so you can still get the chart. This is stitched on 32 count fabric from Vicky Clayton. And that's all I've gotten done on him. I started him in 2019, I want to say. So that's just all the further I've gotten. And I do believe I have more of those. I think he's going to look fabulous when he's finally done. Eventually. This is my stack of projects at this point that I know I'm going to have to work on shortly because of all the challenges. I don't have the picture for this. Alright, so this is America, and I don't have a picture, but it's one of the word trees from M Design, and it says America on one side, and then it's mirrored and on the other, and it comes together and makes a tree, and I'm doing it 1/1, and that's all the further I've gotten on it. It's one of those that it's my oldest WIP because it's fiddly, and I had to do it 1/1 because I only had one skein of the Dinky Dyes. It's Aussie Pride. So I had to do it 1/1 or else I wasn't going to be able to finish it, which is one skein. And then I don't even know where the chart is right now. I only have my working copy left. This is stitched on 32 count. Limited edition from Silkweaver. That's how long ago. I think I might have started this in 2007, maybe 2008. But it's going to get finished, right? It's going to get finished. I have to finish it. It's definitely on one of the challenges to get done. And I would like to get 500 stitches in all my stuff. So maybe it's only not 500 stitches and it'll get done and out of my hair. I still like it. I don't want to UFO it just yet, so I still like it. So it's on the docket, so to speak. Next, this one is, I think this is the longest since I've touched it, since I've stitched on it. So that's one of the prompts. And it's Mandela Dragonfly. I had started this, I had a good bit done, and then I realized I cut the fabric wrong. So I had to find new fabric and start it all over again, and I did, and then I lost steam on it and didn't want to stitch on it for a while. And I haven't stitched on it since. I don't think I stitched on it at all last year. And this is as far as I got. That's it. Let's see. It's from Awesome Pattern Studio, which is on Etsy. You can get that. I'm looking to see why I don't have it written on. Okay. Silk Weaver Lugana 28 count, and it's an opal. But I didn't have a name. So that's the fabric that's... I don't even know if you can get the fabric. Of course, with Silk Weaver, you'd be lucky to get anything because they take forever to send. It's great if you're in the shop, not if you order. It'd be months getting something from them. Alright. Next. This is a monochromatic that I'm going to work on for prompts, and it's Anzac. Long Dog Samplers, Anzac. This one is being done on 28 count black. I think it's Lugana, pretty sure. And I'm stitching it 1/1. That's how far I've gotten. I know I worked on it this year because I fixed a flub and then added this little bird. And it's being stitched all with Ara McCall from Romy Creations. This was her new thread in 2020, I want to say. And I bought 10 skeins. And I wasn't sure what I was going to use it on. And then I bought this, and I decided it needed to be on here, on black fabric. And believe it or not, it's not that hard to work on this 1/1 black. I thought it was gonna. I thought I was dooming myself, but not as much as I thought. So it's not bad. Plus, I get to use my pattern keeper for that, even though it's got a little bit of backstitch. But you can go look at the PDF and find out what the backstitch is. So it's not that hard. This one. This one is tons of backstitch. But I still like it, so I still want to stitch it. It's Let's Do Coffee. It's a Ursula Michael through Imaginating. I don't remember when I started this. It was a few years ago. Did I work on it this year? Maybe. Don't remember. But this is how far I am. What I figured out was, first of all, I did this. This is 36 count, and it's on Picky Clayton fabric. What I figured out was I ended up doing all the coffee beans 1/2, but I did all of this 2/2. What are you gonna do? So I still need to finish the around the heart and the eye here for the full stitches, and then the only other full stitches are in these words, but there's a lot of quarter stitches too. So what I figured out was, since I'm doing all the back stitch in one strand, I just double do the stitch. Like, I go do the leg again, instead of trying to do 2 strands, 1 strand. And then on the quarter stitches, I am doing them 1/1 stitches instead of quarter stitches. It's so much easier for me to figure it out where everything is and count off of it. So this is one that I'll be stitching on. And there's only a couple more, guys. Almost done. This one. This is one I wanted to start for a while after I saw Pam from Pam and Steph Just Keep Stitching, Stitch It. And it is Lighthouse Keeper from Twin Peak Primitives. It's a cute small. I did start it. I chose my own colors. And I'm doing it on Vincomo Vintage Country Mocha. And I do believe it's a 32 count. So that's how far I got. It's at least 200 stitches. And again, this needle minder is available in my group. They're good for when you're using 6x6 Q-snaps. So that one. Alright. Next one is my Riolus chart, Starry Night. This is one that J Long sent to me, and we were both stitching on it. And we're using the 14 count Ada that came with it. I gridded mine. I don't know why, because I can't see the grid marks on the color chart. Okay, so just in case you were wondering, that's what I gotta read. Alright, it's worse down here when it's black and blue and dark and not dark and dark. Okay? It's horrible. Anyway, that's what slows me down, is reading the chart. But this is how far I've gotten. And it's on this fuzzy thread, by the way. On those bobbins. I don't like those bobbins. I know they're kind of convenient for some, but to unwind it, it gets stuck on the bobbin itself and starts getting on my nerves. So I went and took one of these Paco organizers. Now I'm stuck. And cut off a bunch of links at once and put them with their corresponding numbers on the thing, so I can just pick it off and go. It made it a little bit easier. Alright. 3 more. My shoulder hurts, by the way. Alright. This is the one that got voted to get done. This is Christmas Moose. I have broken him up into 12 parts. Like, this is 4 parts, and this is 4, and this is 4. Right? Broke him up into 12 parts, and I'm going to do 1 part each month. That way he will be done by the end of the year. Alright? So far, what I have done on him, because that's before this year even started, is that. So the first month isn't going to be as bad because I have some of it done. But trust me, it'll catch up with me on the other side anyway. So that's what's done. I do have that needle minder in my group. And he came with Ada. And it was that brown Ada that you saw in the picture. I did not like that. I went searching through my stuff, and I think this fabric is perfect. It is 32 count Murky from Picture This Plus. I wrote on this one. I started this on the 27th of August, 2021. For some reason, it feels like it's been longer than that. But, so he is out, so I can start a section on him. Then I have 2 new starts. One was New Year's Eve. Oh, one was a couple days before New Year's Eve. There's 3. One was last week. One was last night. And one was today. I saw this when it was first came out. And I fell in love with it. And then for Christmas, I bought it for myself. It's called You Belong to Me. It's from Long Dog Samplers. And then I went looking, and lo and behold, I had the fabric and the floss. The floss is PR168 from Silks For You. The fabric is a mystery linen that I believe is 36 count. And this is how far I got. That's 1,000 stitches, over 1,000 stitches that I did. Now, I do need to move this bug here. This one. He needs to go over here, I believe. Or over here. I don't know. He's not, doesn't belong there. I think he belongs over here. But that's how far I've gotten on it. I'm loving how it's looking. It was easy to stitch. And I made good progress, so I'm happy with that. That is available in my group. That needle minder. So I got a good start on that. And now it's challenge time, so it'll be fit into challenges. Then I started. I gotta put this somewhere else. Then I started last night. Okay, so back in August, we were supposed to start The Queen That Was. That was from Christine Stitch All the Things. She got busy. I don't know, something about moving or something. Anyway, she got busy. And she said, I'll let you know when we're ready to start. I said, okay, fair enough. Well, she contacted me a couple days ago and was like, all right, I want a New Year, New Start. That's what it's going to be. I already had my New Year, New Start picked out. So I said, I'll start it on New Year's Eve. Instead, she said, okay, close enough. So here's The Queen That Was from Ink Circles. And I chose a blue even weave to put it on. And I think I'm using it called for colors, except for the metallic, which was a big mistake. It was a mystery metallic thread. I don't even think it was chronic, because I think it was worse than chronic. But I got through it. It's only one stitch down here and then the crown, and it's done. So after I'm done this, the rest of that little bit of metallic's going in the trash. I think it was only a couple yards, so who cares? That's how much I've gotten done on that. That is 500 stitches, at least. I think it's at least 500 stitches. So that's going to go away for right now till prompt calls to me. And then my newest WIP. That was earlier today. I started it. It is another kit that I got from mybobbin.com. It's these penguins. They're so cute. So this came with Ada. Excuse me. And the thread, the abominated thread. And it has tweeting in it, or blending, whatever you want to call it. I changed out the Ada for Monaco, and there's my little bit of start. And of course, both of these colors, there's two different colors there. They're tweeting right off the rip. That's the center. I did a center start, and yeah, that's the very center point there. And then I moved out this way. And that's about, how many stitches did I do? I had it written down. I will tell you. It's about 104 stitches. And that's what I got done today. These are my old Golden Girls minders. I couldn't get those, so I ordered the newer ones. This one was broken in transit, so I kept it. And sold all the other ones. But I happen to have this one. It was funny because I went to go pull it out today to get started, and I had it in this bag. And then with Betty White passing, which makes me very sad, I had to go pull the needle minder to go match with it. So, I'm not done stitching with that for the day. So, it will stay out. And, I have gotten through all of my WIPs. Plans to get these done. Not, obviously not all of them are getting done, but to get a good chunk of them. If I start something new, it'll probably be because I finished something. There are a few I do want to start. I just matched up fabric for the Raven Queen. I also matched up fabric for Minerva. Both of those were gifts. So I have the fabric and I have them all kitted up and put away in the kitted stuff for when I finish something. That's the plan. We'll see what happens. So far, I'm happy with that plan right now. I think even when I was making the plans months ago, I've been making the plans for a while now. It's still sitting right with me, and I have a lot of huge projects. So that's what's happening. I'm finishing the smalls, and then I start a huge one. So if I finish a small, I may start a small, but I'm not going to start a big one. And unless I finish a big one, like if I finish Amira, one of my big ladies, then I'll start another lady. That's fine. But that's the plan. We'll see what happens. Thanks for hanging out with me. I know it's like just over 2 hours, and I hope you're not starved to death by now, or you at least paused and got something to eat and drink. I will see you during my regularly scheduled program. It just came out Wednesday, so in about a week and a half. Or, unless you're watching this in 2055, then you can watch the next one. Thanks. I hope everyone had a great New Year, and don't forget, don't let anyone steal your sunshine.